Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our last edition of our Workforce Resources Bootcamp. We are so pleased that you are joining us. I want to take a trip down memory lane for a moment because this has been an amazing journey. We have a great team when it comes to our workforce leaders with the chamber. And so we decided that we would extend and really unpack some of those resources that are available for our members and just business leaders. So we started out with incumbent worker training funds. Then we went into federal bonding, on the job training funds, registered apprenticeships, and today we're at our last edition or installment of this particular series, Opportunity Youth. And without our sponsors of the Small Business Council, this would not be possible. So we do want to thank our sponsors who fuel all of our programming, and that is Independent Bank, Wyatt, Tarrant and Combs, as well as United Healthcare. So at this point, I do want to go ahead and introduce our subject matter experts. Today, we have James Moore, and James serves as Vice President for Juice Plus Technical Training Center of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Memphis. James has a successful track record as CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Hatchie River Region in Covington, Tennessee. James was nationally recognized for implementing education, self-sufficiency, workforce development, and financial literacy programs for at-risk youth. He was also recognized by the Memphis Business Journal for Top 40 Under 40, and that was back in 1999. So that is a wonderful recognition. And then he is a graduate of the Lemoyne-Owen College. We also have joining with him Miss Yvonne Stewart, and she is Youth Operations Supervisor at the American Job Center, Equus Workforce Solutions. And Yvonne has a passion for implementing programs and helping youth really prosper. So you're in for a great treat. And I am going to really toss this over at this point to Amber Covington, who is our Director of Workforce. Amber?
Thank you, Patricia, for that warm welcome. I am going to share my screen here to pull up our PowerPoint presentation for today. Of course, as you mentioned, we have gone through several boot camps. This one being the last one in the series, Opportunity Youth. So just before we jump into James and Yvonne's presentations, I just want to set the stage for a minute in regards to Opportunity Youth and why it's important to our workforce. So Opportunity Youth, investing in the future of workforce. And just to go back through today's agenda. So today, really and truly, we want to provide this introduction to Opportunity Youth for our businesses and why they're important. Also outline the benefits of youth training or employment programs. So James and Yvonne, they can really talk from their standpoint with their organizations of what they're doing with youth and connecting with the business community. And then also as businesses, your commitment to support Opportunity Youth and align on next steps, which they can provide too on how you can connect with them. Now, do you remember looking for your first job with no experience? I remember that. I was 14 years old. And for those of you all who are from Memphis or very familiar with Memphis, I worked for a theme park called Liberty Land. And that was my first experience in work and really developing a work ethic. But I was the queen of food and beverage there. Knew how to run all the food and beverage stands. And that's where I started. And it was because certain people in this community gave me that opportunity. And I hope we as a business community can continue to extend opportunities like that to our youth. But imagine not having the right education or other obstacles that can make it challenging to obtain a job. Our opportunity youth, they run into challenges all the time, but also too, they need the training, they need the hands-on experience with employers to be successful and self-sufficient. Currently, nationally, 4.8 million youth are not in school or work. And to break down the stats a little more, here's the most recent stats from 2020. Nationally, 12.6% of our youth are opportunity youth. Here you'll see it's broken down by ethnicity: African American 19.6%, Latino 14%, white 10.6%. And then it's even broken down even further demographically by gender. But I really wanted to jump into what it looks like here in Memphis. So Memphis MSA, MSA is Memphis and 8 other surrounding counties. Our opportunity youth percentage is 18.1%, or in some cases, people call them disconnected youth because they're not in school or working. Shelby County, you see that percentage ticks up a little bit to 18.3%. And then even further, looking at Memphis mostly, which is a lot of the Tennessee Congressional District 9, 20.7% of our youth are not in school or employed. So when you look at those numbers, our percentages in the Memphis MSA, and even diving deeper further into Memphis, is much higher than the national average. Here's a poverty map by census tract. Here in the darker areas, you can see where our poverty levels are here, where more of our youth fall into this opportunity youth bracket. You'll see this happens more so in our inner city. I just wanted to have this as a reference for you all to see where we really need to connect with youth in our communities. Who are opportunity youth? So as I mentioned, they're disconnected from school or work. They're motivated. They do want to reconnect to school or work, but face barriers such as poverty or lack of education. So it's on us to help connect them with these various opportunities. But they also need support from the business community and educators. So that could be mentorship, training, internships, and I want to throw apprenticeships in there as well. Now, compared to all youth, the population of disconnected youth are disproportionately minority or come from low-income households, especially in rural and economically depressed areas. So a lot of times in urban centers and your rural areas, you'll find more opportunity youth. They're also more likely to have a disability, including mental illness, and are at increased risk of exposure to the criminal justice system. And that's why we're all needed as a community to really connect to our young people. Common barriers include lack of educational attainment, little to no employment experience, limited exposure to adult role models, and delayed social development. So it's really breaking down those barriers a little bit more from what I mentioned in the prior slide. So why is this relevant to business? Opportunity youth are our future employees and customers. They're the future workforce here in our area. And we know that there are a lot of businesses coming to Memphis, especially in advanced manufacturing. And we need our youth to be prepared for these grand opportunities. But also for you as employers, it helps to build a diverse talent pipeline. Now you have multiple generations working for your company, multiple ethnicities, gender-wise. You may, for example, in advanced manufacturing, traditionally it's been a male-dominated industry, but now we can introduce women to that industry as well. But also, why is this relevant to business? It impacts the nation's economy. Tons of dollars are put into social services, but if we can connect our youth to great opportunities in various industries that are high demand, that pay well, then those social service dollars that we're spending can go to other resources for individuals that need it. So as I mentioned before, we need support from businesses and educators to provide mentorship, training, and internships. So I'm going to turn it over now to the experts in Opportunity Youth, and they can tell you what they offer through their programs, how they help youth, and what they can do for businesses. So let's welcome today's presenters. We're going to start off with Miss Yvonne Stewart, who's with the American Job Center, Equus Workforce Solutions. She's going to talk about their out-of-school youth program. And then after that, our next presenter will be Mr. James Moore. Of course, he's over with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Memphis with the Technical Training Center, and he can talk about all the wonderful programming that they have there for Opportunity Youth and how you all as the business community can connect. So I'm going to turn it over to Yvonne.
Good afternoon. I am Yvonne Stewart, the Youth Operations Supervisor here at the American Job Center through Equus Workforce Solutions. So I will be talking about our out-of-school youth program. Amber, if you would, next slide. The program goal is to assist youth in finding a career as they transition into the workforce. The ultimate goal for all of our participants is self-sufficiency. We have 14 program elements. Once a participant is enrolled in one of these, they are actively enrolled in our program. We offer things such as tutoring, study skills training, instruction and dropout prevention services, alternative secondary school services or dropout recovery services, paid and unpaid work experience, occupational skills training, education offered currently with workforce preparation and training for a specific occupation, leadership development opportunities, supportive services, adult mentoring, follow-up services, comprehensive guidance and counseling, financial literacy, entrepreneurial skills training, services that provide labor market information, and post-secondary preparation and transition activities. Who are out-of-school youth? Our out-of-school youth are required to meet the following criteria. They must be 16 to 24 years old at eligibility determination, not attending or enrolled in secondary or for credit post-secondary school at eligibility determination. They must be authorized to work in the United States and registered for selective services for males 18 and older. Another criteria for our program is they must have one or more of the following barriers. They can be a high school dropout, a youth who is within the age of compulsory school attendance, but has not attended school for at least the most recent complete school year or calendar quarter, a recipient of a secondary school diploma or its recognized equivalent who is low income and basic skills deficient, or an English language learner, an ex-offender or an offender, an individual who is homeless or a runaway, an individual in foster care or has aged out, an individual who is pregnant or parenting, an individual with a disability, or low-income individual who requires additional assistance. The components of our youth program are orientation, intake, objective assessment summary, individual service strategy, career coaching, support services, and follow-up services. Mr. Moore.
Oh, Mr. Moore, you're on mute.
I'm James Moore. I'm with the Boys and Girls Club. I'm Vice President for Workforce Development, and it's an honor to have an opportunity to talk about our workforce readiness programs that we work with teens and high school students in the Memphis community. Next slide, please. The mission of our organization is to enable all youth, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. Our vision is to provide a world-class club experience that assures success within reach of every young person who enters our doors. All members are on track to graduate from high schools with a plan for their future, demonstrating good character, good leadership, and living a healthy lifestyle. Our commitment to inclusion, we believe every kid has what it takes. The mission and the core beliefs of Boys and Girls Club fuels our commitment to promoting safe, positive, and inclusive environment for all. Boys and Girls Club of America supports all youth and all teens, every race, ethnicities, gender expression, sexual orientation, ability, social, economic status, religious, and reaching their full potential. Our workforce readiness framework for the Boys and Girls Club is to teach young people about judgment, creativity, decision-making, communication, and collaborations. Our evidence-informed approach puts a holistic skill development and career exposure at the forefront of young people experiences from the time they are 6 years old through their teen years, emphasizing three components to provide youth with the knowledge, skills, and learning experience they need to succeed in life and work. These three components, we want students to be able to explore. Our clubs provide career exploration for youth, including exposing them to the world of work, career assessments to identify talents and interests, and opportunities to learn about post-secondary pathways to careers. Develop, clubs provide the people, program, and places that help a youth build their essential and technical skills. Apply, clubs offer opportunities to practice skills through real life experience such as service learning, job shadowing, first jobs, and internships. At the Boys and Girls Club, we operate our programs through schools. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit as it relates to me is that last year we partnered with Memphis Shelby County Schools, and we opened up 10 Boys and Girls Clubs. And when we opened up the 10 Boys and Girls Clubs last year, it was for us to partner with those schools to have club members working inside of the schools during the schools day, facilitating in-school programs, after-school programs for schools at the target schools. All 10 of these schools, including Craigmont, are the schools that's a part of the I-Zone division. And Boys and Girls Club, at Boys and Girls Club, we offer opportunities for students to be able to participate in our program and after-school setting from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. Next slide. The Boys and Girls Club Youth Technical Training Center is offer opportunities for youth 16 to 22 years old to come in and participate in our career pathway programs. And one of those programs that they get a chance to earn certification certificates in is in our automotive maintenance program, logistics and distribution, basic culinary art skills, UPS road code, welding, STEMs, IT, and soft skills. We have positive adult role models who provide leadership for the students, and all our career pathways apprenticeship programs, students have an opportunity to earn certification and certificates in. Next slide, please. Boys and Girls Club, even though we work with teens and youth, up to 22 years old, we provide opportunities for youth as young as kindergarten, to 12th grade. And so if anyone wants to be a member of Boys and Girls Club, it's $10 per person to join our program. But if they cannot afford the $10, we have scholarships available for kids to enjoy the benefits of our program. One of the things that we provide at every Boys and Girls Club, child safety is our number one priority. We also provide positive adult role models to have, work directly with the students. And we also have staff who have been professionally, trained in terms of youth development. We believe and have demonstrated that positive influence work. Children are encouraged to make appropriate decisions in all areas of their lives, not just social and academically. Some of the impacts that we have for Boys and Girls Club is that we're committed to changing lives by measuring how club kids and teens are achieving we determine how effectively the club experiences is in helping American youth build a great future.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Moore. Thank you, Yvonne, for your wonderful presentations. Before we get into Q&A, I wanted to share you all's contact information with everyone that's on the webinar today. So there's Yvonne's information. She's the Youth Operations Supervisor with the American Job Center. And then also Mr. James Moore, Vice President of Workforce Development. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Patricia, who is going to begin our Q&A session.
All right, thank you so much. This was a great deal of information that is valuable to any business. So if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to type them up in the chat area and we will get those answered. But I would like to just get some clarification for the Girls and Boys Club program. The cost is $10 per person. Is that per month or annually?
That's annually, and also I want to make it very clear, Ms. McKinney, is that any student that's participating in our high school programs as well as our Juice Plus Technical Training Center, the cost for program participation is free.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we do have a question here. What's the process if employers are interested? This participant says, I would love to have a bookkeeping apprenticeship program.
Well, as the process, if someone is interested in partnering with the Boys and Girls Club, feel free to reach out to me. We have a core programming that we offer, and the programming that we offer right now was based on assessments working with the business community. That's part of the reason why when I talked about our career apprenticeship programs, our automotive program is underwritten and sponsored by AutoZone. Our logistics and supply chain management and distribution program is underwritten and supported by FedEx. And so we have soft skills instructors, who are working, with our particular students, to making sure that they understand and have the soft skills. And I also want to add too, is that part of the Explorer aspect of it that we do with our young people, especially with our teens and our high school students, there are three components that we're really, really focusing in on. Number one, we're actively looking to recruit individuals to come in and provide guest speaker presentations. Number one, to share the success about their careers, to talk about their failures to young people. Number two, we're also actively creating opportunities for young people to participate in workplace tours and workplace visits. And really where that is coming from, if you notice, is that one of the things that we offer career assessments. And so all those different workplace tours and visits that we're doing is based totally on the interest of the kids who are involved, who want to learn about different career fields. And then the other piece that we're also doing is that we're talking about post-secondary pathways program, right? We provide college tours where we're taking students to learn about exploring different colleges. Keep in mind that a lot of students that we're working with, especially in the high schools, is that, especially with Shelby County schools, there are limited opportunities for students, participate in career technical educational programs. And so with them spending more time with, on accomplishing positive outcomes in academic subjects, one of the things that we've been able to do, especially with the high schools that we've been working with, is partnering with the schools to be able to help the schools meet expectations for grad readiness opportunities of taking kids on different college tours during the school day.
Okay, perfect. Well, as our participant was asking about, even with accounting, but there could be other companies who want to put together a program about the apprenticeship or the career path that they specialize in. So where should they start if they have this wealth of knowledge to go ahead and get their program off the ground? I know through the state, they can reach out to that particular department if they have something that they want to start. But do you all have through what you do, just someone to walk them through the process of having apprenticeship program starting with their company?
Sure. They can reach out to me and we can sit down and have a conversation about that, because one of the things that we offer, since we're talking about accounting, right? One of the things I forgot to mention that we also, that's a part of our programming, is that kids are participating in our Money Matters program, which is our financial literacy program. And so that's one of the core programs that we offer to students, where they're participating in those sessions. And so, yes, they can reach out to me and they can have that conversation with me, and I'll be happy to walk them through that process along with my CEO.
Okay, and this question could be for you, James, or you, Yolanda. What about the entrepreneur piece? There are skills that will be transferable if you want to own a business. So talk a little bit about that, if that's an opportunity.
For our participants, we do speak with them about entrepreneurship and how to go about it. We are actually now actively seeking work experience sites for our youth who where there is primarily entrepreneurship, because many of them are looking into that, especially due to COVID and the impact that took on all businesses. So they are being exposed to individuals who run multiple businesses, in different areas. So they are getting that experience now. And it's actually turning out better than what we expected. Most are looking for those non-traditional jobs, and just really getting insight into how people are able to not only start a business, but maintain that business and other businesses in conjunction with it. And to answer the question about the apprenticeship, if anyone is looking to do an apprenticeship with the American Job Center or for the youth program, you can get in contact with me directly, and I can get you sent over to our business solutions manager to discuss more details.
Okay, thank you so much, Yolanda. We have a question. This person says, I currently have a registered CDL apprenticeship program for youth in the Memphis area. How can I partner with James Moore or Boys and Girls Club to introduce our programs and the opportunity we have?
Again, Ms. McKinney, they would need to just reach out to me, and that's part of the thing that we really want to do. We want to be able to not pigeonhole the young people that we work with, but and we also have many of students who have mentioned that they're interested, in trucking and in transportation. So if they can reach out, give me a call, I'll be happy to sit down and have a conversation with them, and to be able to give them opportunities to be able to engage with our students who are interested in the transportation side in terms of trucking.
Okay. So what industries have you all seen that benefit the most from your program?
I would like to say that, since our technical training center has been there since over 16 years, Williams-Sonoma and FedEx are two that come to mind. And Nike as well has been a big partner in terms of us being able to create pipelines to help students, once they have earned the certifications, learn the soft skills that they need to learn, have been able to have successful careers working, either after school, or in some instance, some of the students are continually working with those organizations. So again, I would say FedEx, Williams-Sonoma, and Nike.
Okay, so that logistics industry is where you have been seeing the most success. How about you, Yolanda?
For us, the youth are seeking more healthcare and freight and transportation. Those are the most in demand. What we are seeing now, like I said, is entrepreneurship is constantly increasing interest, and also construction.
Okay.
But definitely healthcare and freight and transportation.
Okay. So how have you all been able to really engage this sector? I know working through schools is really instrumental to get them involved with that. And then, of course, they see everything that there is to offer. But those youth that are out there just under the radar, how can you really reach them to let them know that this even exists?
I can answer that. In fact, the city of Memphis just did a program called the 3R program, and I about 2 months ago, I met with them, and so one of the things that they were doing with their program, working with young people who was disconnected and out of school youth, they were trying to create opportunities for them to have job shadowing opportunities, and so when I met with them a couple of months ago, we created an opportunities for those students who had an interest in culinary to come over and to shadow our culinary arts director, to shadow individuals that were working in our logistic area. And so I would say that, when you working with the organization as a nonprofit, number one, you have a responsibility to collaborate, to create program partnerships with individuals, in the area, because the need is so great. And so a lot of what we have as relates to out of school youth has been through word of mouth, been through program collaborations, as well as being able to disseminate and to be able to have, communications and speaking engagements and talking with neighborhood groups, our
Okay,
community groups.
gotcha. So as we're looking at the different segments of this sector, so we've got the 16 to say 19, and then the 20 to 24, what types of jobs would say the minors be able to be a part of? I mean, because with some of the logistics and transportation companies, you would have to be 18, of course. So what are you seeing as a trend for those types of jobs?
One of the trends that I've been able to see, especially with the high school students that we're working with, is that we've been seeing a lot of students, gravitate at opportunities to work part-time after school with Kroger, to work part-time after school at Walmart, to work part-time after school at Walgreens. And so pretty much, from a retail perspective, some of the retail stores, but we have had a huge presence of young people to gravitate and look at the opportunities to work, like I said, at Walmart as well as Kroger.
Gotcha. And do you find that even with the young adult with, I guess, 20 to 24, if they do have any children, are there those wraparound services that you connect them with, or are you looking for additional ancillary services that can help them so that they are able to go on these particular job interviews and just be consistent even with those positions when they get placed?
Yes, our program definitely supports them in that way. If they need the wraparound services, if we don't offer the service directly, we do get them in connection with the organization that does.
Okay, okay. So at this point, well, first of all, let me check and see if you all have any other questions, because I have a few more that I wanted to pose to our panel, but feel free to send those over to our chat or our Q&A area. So as you're looking at the companies and even our youth that you've helped, could you share a testimony about a company that has really benefited from the program, and then maybe a youth? Of course, you don't have to utilize their name or share their name, but just think about a testimonial that you would like to share.
Yes, I have a testimony. Before I got here, working with Boys and Girls Club, there was a young lady that was a part of our Juice Plus Technical Training Center program. And with her being a part of our program of learning the soft skills, being able to do her career assessment in terms of what she wanted to become, we were able to use work through our board members to get her an opportunity to participate in a paid internship at FedEx. Initially, she wanted to be a mechanic at FedEx, and so we created opportunities of willing influences of working through corporate leaders at FedEx who we had at that time on our board, and we were able to give her that opportunity. And so from that particular opportunity, after she graduated from our program, we stayed in connection with her. She recently graduated from college, where she ended up leaving that position, becoming accepting a full-time position as a recruiter. And so she came in, didn't know what she really wanted to do, didn't have the skill set. And by being a part of our program, now she's working full time as a recruitment specialist for FedEx. But where all that started was with her walking in, being innocent, being a part of the Juice Plus Technical Training Center. And she's the face of our program when you're looking at trying to share a success story like that.
That is powerful. That is so powerful. And that should be screamed from the rooftops. I love hearing that, because when people see the track of someone that started from point A and they could see, because I was a part of this program, this is my success that I'm experiencing now. So thank you so much for sharing that. What about a company that has shared how this program has impacted them? Because we all know that finding workers, finding talent is a challenge. And so tapping into this particular sector to help in that regard, to make sure that they can continue to move as a company, is valuable. So have you heard of a testimonial from a company telling you how valuable this program has been to them?
Yes, I'm not going to call the company by name,
Sure.
but it is in the freight and transportation industry. We have worked heavily with them, especially with tuition assistance for the participants that were enrolled in our program. And they were very thankful to our program for giving, especially those who were like justice involved, an opportunity to be able to come through our program and receive assistance in the way that we provided it, because we do also offer those wraparound services as well. They began to see an increase in their student population and the graduation rate, and just even being placed for work for especially those justice involved participants. It was great for them to be able to be a part of that transition for those participants.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. So, Amber, are there any questions that you want to, just putting on that hat of a business owner, what would they ask if they were sitting in front of these subject matter experts, or even with our panel? What questions do you normally receive from business owners?
Thank you, Patricia. So I actually do have a question that I just wrote down. So here in the Memphis area, 90% of our new businesses that are coming are in the advanced manufacturing industry. But also too, there is a gap in the IT industry as far as Black tech talent. With the workforce constantly changing, and what those business needs are now in those two industries that are growing here in the Memphis area, how do you all, within you all's programming, how do you gear your programming to ensure that you're reaching out to young people, ensuring that they're receiving this type of training, but also not even receiving the training, but that they're aware of these great opportunities that's available for them to be self-sufficient and make livable wages here in the Memphis area?
I would like to chime in there because I did have a success story that I wanted to share for a participant who came through our program for IT. This participant had a learning disability, and I'm not sure if the training provider that he went through was aware of that disability up front. So he completed the program, but was unable to test for certification due to his disability. They had to make accommodations for him. Those accommodations that I walked with him step by step through for over 2 months to get this accommodation. It took a while, but he did finally get the accommodation that he needed to test for certification, and he passed with flying colors. That participant went on to go under contract with the IT company, making over $50,000 a year. And that was his very first job. So I was honored to be a part of that process with that young man and that experience with him.
Thank you, Yvonne. And I do have another question. So let's say, for example, I'm a business, I want to participate in you all's programming. but I want the youth to have the opportunity to earn and learn at the same time. Is there funding available to be able to pay that youth? Does that come out of my pocket as an employer? Or do you as an organization offer stipends, internships, or payrolls to be able to support that youth?
We offer what we call work experience for our participants, which is considered a paid internship. Typically, we would like for our participants to participate in our paid internship program before they begin training, just to ensure that that's really a field that they're interested in. Most intern or externships happen on the back end, but with their youth, and they change their mind often, or they're, trying to go into a field because my mama or my uncle or my best friend are doing this. So we do offer those paid internships on the front end, just to make sure that before they spend money, or we, the organization spends money for training, that they are prepared to go into this field. They have insight to what their job duties or responsibilities are going to be. They have a very realistic view, hopefully, of what the field would entail. So yes, we do offer that service to our youth.
Yeah. I would like to add to that a little bit too. With the Boys and Girls Club, what we offer, we do offer a stipend. We offer it as an incentive for program participation, where youth are able to earn a stipend. We also partner with other community organizations as relates to the paid experience program. But just as Ms. Stewart said, before we make that decision in terms of connecting a young person, with an employer, we want to make sure that they're able to be comfortable to learn and meeting program expectations and comfortable, because we don't want to set no youth up for failure.
And thank you for that. Final question. Me as an employer, am I liable when youth come on site? How does that work for me as far as liability if something was to happen on site during their internship?
For us, I do believe that our business solutions team really handles that piece of it. I don't want to misspeak, because the contracts and everything are handled through them. But if there are liabilities, everyone is aware of those liabilities up front. So there will be no confusion there.
And again, I may add to Ms. Stewart again, it's the same thing with the Boys and Girls Club, that before we put ourselves or the business, at risk, there's conversation and documentation as relates to the covering of risk management and compliance dealing with the young people.
Thank you.
Amber and I were on the same wavelength, because I was going to ask, would a business owner need to take out additional insurance, or maybe a short-term insurance or what have you, when they have individuals on site. So when they speak with your team, your team will really share with them all of the details that they would need to know regarding coverage and liabilities.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good to know. So what do you need from our business leaders? I mean, internship opportunities, job opportunities. What do you need? What type of support do you need from the business community?
If I might add, I can go ahead and go first. And first of all, thank you for this great opportunity, to be able to share. One of the things that I mentioned to you before is that our job is to really make sure that young people, especially high school students, have a plan for their future. We're very careful about putting young people in situations where they're not successful. So having the business community, reach out to our organization to create guest speaking opportunities, guest speaker presentation for their staff to come in and engage with our students, giving our students those opportunities, to visit, see what their business look like, to be able to have that hands-on visual approach, means a lot. And then third, not least, even before we even start talking about looking at, jobs, maybe creating opportunities, to do more job shadowing opportunities where, a student can go out, for the day, whether that's 2 hours, 4 hours, or 6 hours, to be able to, work or, work alongside of someone working in the company so they can really, get a bird's eye view of what happens with the day to day. And so those are things that we're looking for. We want to be able to do. We want to be able to connect our young people to opportunities through exposure so that they can be comfortable enough to understand, what are the opportunities that avail themselves here in the Memphis market. And I might go on to say too, a little bit too, is that, a lot of this young people that we encounter, that we work with, are many a times pigeonholed. They don't know about other opportunities that avails themselves in our community. And so having the business community and a diverse business community connecting with them, it does wonders for them of looking at things that they never thought about exist. And one example that I want to share is Army Corps Engineering. I mean, a lot of our young people didn't realize that this is a river city and not realize, the Army Corps Engineer, which is the division of the Army, and having them look at, possibly working, as a federal job. And so, we want to be able to expose them, not just for things that, that they see from a pick and pack perspective, right? But a logistic perspective, but we want to expose them to other things that's offering here in Memphis, like advanced manufacturing. And so exposability.
Thank you so much. Well, we are 1 minute over our time. This conversation has been amazing, but I do want to ask our panelists, if anybody who has been on this call is interested in reaching out to you, your information is there. So we're opening up the floodgates if they want to reach out to you. So thank you for being available. We appreciate your time, James and Yvonda, and of course, Amber, for having such great partners that she can call on to bring great information to our members. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone that has logged on to this call. Enjoy the rest of your day. Our Small Business Council is grateful for you, as well as our sponsors, Independent Bank, Wyatt Tarrant & Combe, as well as United Healthcare. Have a great rest of your day.